Hi there, I'm Julian and this is Anne on the camera, and Milo, he'll appear at the appropriate time, our little puppy dog. Come with me and I will take you for a walk around our little van. Now, we're going to start from the very front of the van to start with, and this is the release catch for the bonnet at the front. So let's do a quick moment there. So the catch is just to the left hand side of the emblem here. As you pull it up high enough, it just remains open. Everything will be refilled and ready to go, but it's just the window washer water, brake fluid, radiator water. Okay, so just below the bonnet lever, release lever, is the tools for the removing the wheels. So just on the floor here we have like a blade. If you have strong fingernails, you just turn that clockwise, remove this out, and we have the jack and the wheel brace. And under our seat here on the passenger side we have just a few basic tools along with a first aid kit and just basic things like a hammer for knocking the pegs in for the awning, which we'll show you later, and even thrown in a cordless drill. So working our way down the van, we have the diesel fill out position, and that can only be opened when this door's open. We'll go inside later and discuss anything in there, but just below the door at this point is the release valve for the grey water for the sink, and that's just on a lever. You push up for off and down horizontal for open. Moving to here, this is 240 volts in, and if you want to there's 240 volts out. And these, we have a front and rear catch for the awning, which this supports a stay, and we'll show you that in a video later. This is our water filler position, and it's unlikely that you'll use all the water, but just in case you do, we have a pair of pliers specifically for this, and that's all that's required to pull that off, and that's locked. Okay, the rear of the van, you just have to, for opening these doors up, we have one lever here, just pull it towards you and it opens, and we have two collapsible chairs. And these are the awning devices, and we'll show you how to use them in another video. This is an awning stay support, and this is the spare wheel release bolts, and we'll have this included in the toolkit underneath the front passenger seat, and it's just a matter of undoing these bolts, and it lowers the spare wheel down on a rack. In closing this in reverse, the seats need to be placed this way, just beyond that strip, and then pushed in to the left, then it will stay there. And importantly, when closing this door, is that lever won't go back in until it's in far enough. So just a firm push in, and that's locked. This is our gas hot water, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. But this is the place, if there is a malfunction with it, which is rare, but it does happen, you can hear whether it's burning or not from this place. Just you can hear the noise of gas burning, and we simply light that up 15 minutes before you need hot water, and you'll have a good shower. So this is the gas hot water bottle. So this is the gas supply for all the appliances, and we've got a spanner to undo this hose in the front of the van, and that should be all self-explanatory. This is our toilet cassette here, which is just a matter of lifting up this yellow lever underneath, under here, and just pulling it towards you. Very important that this device here is not on an angle like that. It's running north-south along there, and for emptying it, it's just a matter of opening that up, opening this, and pouring into a dump station, returning that to that position, and pushing back in on the tracks that are in there until you hear a definite click. And that, I haven't heard of people stealing my toilet canister yet, but it is lockable, so if it is, it's a good idea to keep that locked. Okay, let's move to the inside of the van. This is the heartbeat of the van, where we operate just about every electrical device, from lighting to water pumps to showers, everything. And so let's just work from top to bottom. If you're going to use the toilet, we turn on the toilet flush and the toilet light. So both those come on. Sometimes the light doesn't go on when you do that, but if you're pushing every one of these switches to the right, activates the switch, turns it on. This one is the water pump at the back of the van, and you'll hear that noise. This one gives you the hot water, and that will only operate when the gas is turned on, where we showed you before. This is the fridge, and that is always, this is on the right hand side, despite that off being on the right hand side. All switches are on when pressed to the right, and we don't use the 12 volt. If you do need to use that, you need to give us a call, and we'll give you access to that, but we just want you to use the 240 volt or the gas for the fridge. Down to the next one, that is a blank switch. This is the left hand lights at the rear. We'll turn them on, and I'll show you where the lights are as they come on. This is the you're not looking at them.
Well, you said left hand, so
This is the main electrical part of the van, where we operate most appliances from hot water system to fridge, pump. So let's go from the top, where we have the toilet and the toilet light. So whenever we go to the loo, we just press both of those on. This will give us toilet flush. This will give us the light. LED strip in the bathroom. This is the pump that obviously just gives us water pressure. This is hot water, and it needs to be turned on in conjunction with the gas, which we showed you where that was earlier, and you'll hear a piezo light, and then you'll hear that flame lighting at the rear right hand side of the van. And once again, you need around 15 minutes to heat up the water for a shower. The fridge, this one needs always to be on to the right, whether we're on whatever power supply. And then moving down to this one, that's a spare one. We have left-hand interior lights, which is a strip light going down the left-hand side of the van. Right-hand interior lights, and this operates a 12 volt plug over near the TV that we can operate a couple of different things, like a little lamp. And these two are USB power points for front and rear. There's one right near the bed, so you can charge your phone up at night. And as this says, the on position is always to the right. Although these little lights don't always come on, they are on, except for this one. Thank you. This is the Dometic 3-way fridge, which is operated on this switch here by going from gas at the top, 240 volts and battery. We have set this up to only have to use the battery in emergency situations, and so we prefer you just to be using 240 volt and gas. This is the temperature gauge. We just leave it up all the time, and this is the locking device for when traveling. Important to just lock that. Microwave is only functioning on 240 volts, so we don't particularly use that much at all because we do a lot of free camping. This is our sink. Always important to have this faucet adjusted down before closing, as it could get expensive. And this is our cooking device with our little lighter, and yeah, that's pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of pushing each knob in and then turning it and holding on for 5 seconds. Okay, in this little lounge, dining, we have the USB port that I was referring to earlier, and under the seats is a limited amount of storage, as we have the batteries and water tank and hot water heater, but we do have a good little bit of storage under here, this section. Just going through this setup of the bed with the table and removing of the table. The first, I just need to warn you that if too much pressure is applied, because it's not a standard table with 4 legs, it's only relying on this bracket, and if too much weight is put on there, you will buckle, bend or break this bracket, which is a very costly piece of. We're going through the process of setting this dining table up for either 2 single beds or 1 double. So the process for both is required to undo these bolt ratchet handles, undo that and lift it off. And same again down here, turn it anti-clockwise, slide him up. So we remove these off so you have more bed arrangement, and we place them on the front seats off the floor. As you can imagine, the floor can get quite messy and sandy, so we just like to protect our seat covers. Otherwise, and this would go up the front with the cushions. But if we're making it into a double bed, we just place it on the in between, sliding the central mattress into position, and then ready to make your bed. This is our roof vent, which helps with ventilation. We always encourage you to turn that closed on departure. Moving right along, we have a carbon monoxide detector here, which we don't think you'll ever need, and our fire blanket here. Let's talk through the bathroom. As we said before, just switch on toilet flush, light and pump, and once we've done our business, we can simply flush and release. And for the shower, we have an extra long hose that if you just want to wash your feet off before you get inside the van, actually reaches, it's a 2-meter hose reaching all the way outside. So that's quite convenient at times.
Squeegee.
And when we have finished our shower, Anne wants you to squeegee the door down while the door is closed. But she has a bath mat supplied for worst case scenario. So let's just go through the reverse function, the checklist, and the air conditioning. We have, for the reverse, it's The only tricky gear in this is to pull this lever up and pull it all the way to the left and down. The other really important thing that we want to bring to your attention is the height of this fan. This is not the height, it's another 2 feet above this, another 650 millimeters. Total height of the van is 2650, whilst the windscreen is only 2 meters high. So long as you remember when you're driving down laneways with overhanging trees that you're another 2 feet above this point. The other thing to remember is the checklist. We just like to go through that on arrival and departure, just to remind us of those basic functions of locking all the cabinets, etc., before we go, so we don't have things flying out of the fridge and having disasters. And let's just go through 4 more things and we are finished. The first is the air conditioning. When the ignition is on, that is the air conditioning. The other important thing is always to remember diesel fuel, not petrol, and that could be another expensive mistake if taken. It is a 6.5 to somewhere between the vicinity of 6.5 and 6.8 meters long. So we have to be careful when we're going around sharp corners. We don't wipe out the side of the van. And reversing is always very tricky. So Anne always gets out and guides me on any reversing, parking, just for safety of everyone.